Have you ever really looked at a piece of slate? You've probably walked on it, maybe seen it on a roof, but I bet you never realized that inside this humble gray rock is a truly epic story. We're talking about planetary forces, deep time, and incredible human skill. So let's get into it. This is the biography of Slate.
All right, to get us started, here's a little riddle for you. What could a weathered, centuries-old roof possibly have in common with the perfectly flat green surface of a professional pool table? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different worlds, right? Well, it turns out they share a secret.
And that secret is slate. It's the one remarkable stone that connects them both. It's a material that was forged over millions of years and then perfected by human hands. And its story, well, it starts at the bottom of a very, very old ocean.
So let's go back, way back. How does a simple layer of mud at the bottom of the sea transform into one of the most durable building materials we've ever known? It's all thanks to an absolutely incredible geological journey.
Okay, so picture this. Millions of years ago, tiny little particles of clay and silt are just settling down in calm waters. Eon after eon, more layers pile on, and all that weight compacts the mud into a sedimentary rock we call shale. Pretty simple so far, but here's where the magic happens. Tectonic plates start moving, building mountains, and our shale gets buried deep inside the Earth's crust. It's getting cooked and squeezed under unbelievable heat and pressure. And that intense, directional pressure forces all the tiny, flat minerals inside the rock to snap into perfect parallel lines. And just like that, slate is born.
So what's actually in this new rock? The main building blocks are minerals like quartz and muscovite. But what gives slate its real character, its amazing range of colors, are the little extras, the trace elements. A bit of iron, for instance, is what creates those beautiful greens, purples, and even reds. So no, slate is definitely not just one boring shade of gray.
Now, that whole process, forcing all the minerals to line up, it gives slate a genuine superpower. And this one single property is the entire reason it's been so incredibly valuable to us for centuries. And here's the name for that superpower: slaty cleavage. It sounds technical, but it's actually really simple. Because all those microscopic minerals are lined up like pages in a book, the rock itself wants to split perfectly along those planes. You can take a thick, heavy block of slate, tap it in just the right spot, and it will shear off into a thin, perfectly smooth sheet. That is its secret weapon. And looking at other rocks really shows you why slate is just so special. Take something like schist or gneiss. They were formed under even more intense heat and pressure. All that extra cooking made their mineral grains grow bigger and coarser. So when you try to split them, they just crumble or break unevenly. Slate, you see, hits this geological sweet spot. It's had just enough pressure to get those minerals lined up, but not so much that it ruins that perfect fine-grained texture that allows for the clean split. So nature gives us this incredible raw material. But how do we get it from deep inside a mountain to a pristine masterpiece on a roof or in a billiard hall? Well, that's where we come in. This is where human ingenuity forms a perfect partnership with geology. First off, you don't actually have to dig super deep mines to find slate. Remember those mountain-building forces? They pushed and tilted these huge beds of slate right up near the surface, so we can get to it in these massive open-pit quarries. And getting it out is this amazing mix of brute force and, well, artistry. First, they clear away the topsoil to expose the slate. Then giant blocks are cut or blasted from the quarry wall. But this next step, step 3, this is where it gets incredible. A master craftsperson, they call them a splitter, can take a thick, rough block, and with just a hammer and a chisel, they can feel for that invisible cleavage plane and split it into perfectly thin, uniform tiles. It's a skill that takes a lifetime to learn, a true conversation with the stone. And this amazing partnership between the stone and our skills has left a legacy that's literally all around us. For thousands of years, we have found all sorts of ingenious ways to use this stuff. If there's one word to describe slate, it's durability. Just look at this number, 200 years. A well-made slate roof can easily last for 2 centuries, sometimes way longer. Now think about your typical modern asphalt roof that you might have to replace every 20 years. There's just no comparison. Slate is in it for the long haul. And we've known this for a long time. Way back before paper was common, school kids used little slate tablets and chalk to practice their writing. It was the original reusable whiteboard. Then, when cities started booming in the 18th and 19th centuries, slate became the absolute gold standard for roofing on any important building. And its story isn't over. Today, it's still one of the most valued materials for its timeless beauty and unbeatable performance.
I mean, the versatility is just mind-boggling. It's waterproof, fireproof, and tough as nails, so of course it's great for roofing and flooring. But it's also used for countertops and fireplaces. We already talked about billiard tables, but what about old science lab benches? Or even electrical switchboards back in the day? It really is the jack-of-all-trades of the stone world.
Okay, but here's the really surprising part. In a world where we're all focused on being more sustainable, this ancient rock might actually be a material for the future. Let's talk about something called embodied energy. That's basically all the energy it takes to make a product, from start to finish. For stuff like steel or concrete, that number is huge. You have to mine it, transport it, melt it, process it in factories. It takes a ton of power. Slate, on the other hand, you basically just cut it out of the ground, split it, and that's it. No factories, no melting. Its embodied energy is incredibly low. And that's just the start of its green credentials. It's a totally natural, non-toxic material. We already know it has that incredibly long lifespan. But even better, when a building with a slate roof is torn down, you can salvage those tiles and use them again on another building for another 100 years. And at the very, very end of its life, it just breaks down and becomes part of the soil again. It's a perfect closed-loop cycle.
I think this quote just nails it. Slate isn't just a rock. It's the end result of a grand collaboration between the immense power of our planet and the focused, patient skill of human hands. It's a story of partnership.
So the next time you walk past an old church with a slate roof or see a stone walkway, maybe you'll see it a little differently. You won't just see a piece of stone. You'll see the final page of a story that's millions of years in the making. And, it kind of makes you wonder, what other everyday things around us are hiding their own epic story, just waiting for us to ask?